Hey, good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And tonight, you know, as usual, every Sunday night at this time, we have our football 2020 review, week 4. We're a quarter way through the season. One game got canceled, another game got pushed back to tomorrow. And we're gonna run through the early games first. What's up, Wayne?
What's going on, Q? It's good. We get a doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah,
One
yeah,
more tonight. But we get started. Who you want to start with? Jaguars, Bengals?
absolutely.
Uh,
Jaguars, Bengals.
I said this morning about Joe Burrow, and I complained a little bit about how Zach Taylor handled the overtime against the Eagles last week, not putting the ball in Joe Mixon's hands. Well, today he put the ball in Joe Mixon's hands, it tuned 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he had a
Hmm.
touchdown reception. I mean, Burrow did pretty good, but you got to help the rookie out. When you got running backs like Mixon and Giovanni Bernard, got to run the ball, man.
Hmm.
So, I mean, Burrow still had 36 pass attempts today for 300 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. But it's good to utilize that running game that he has to help the young guy out. Bernard only got 2 carries, but Joe Mixon got 25 carries. And the Jaguars, I don't really know what the Jaguars are. They're 1-3 now. They seem to believe in Minshew, but do you tank for Trevor? Like, you're gonna have some teams that's gonna start tanking for Trevor soon. Even though there's a quarterback that plays for North Dakota State that I think is the real deal.
Yeah,
Trey
yeah,
Lance. I'd be
yeah.
taking for Trey Lance, but everybody loves Trevor Lawrence. But 33-25, the Bengals get their first win. They're now 1-2-1. Jags fall to 1-3. So
The
that's it.
only thing I gotta say about the Bengals is whoever's his offensive coordinator. I just hope that the Bengals don't put too much expectation on the kid and bring him along slowly because I'm impressed with him. I'm impressed. I was impressed with him last week. I'm more impressed with him now. He has control of the offense. He's
Excuse
a
me.
young kid, good pocket presence. I mean, the sky's the limit for him. If I like I said last week when we was talking about them, if I was them, it sounds crazy, but I would actually trade AJ Green to get more assets because they got the other young receiver that they drafted this year as well, and the sky's the limit for that team. And I know people be like, "Why would you trade AJ Green?" Because he's for youth and moving forward. I trade him because it's an asset. The Jaguars, like you, we don't really know what's up with the Jaguars. Actually, they are one of those teams that's owned by a minority. But however, uh, like I said, the organization is just in the wrong city. And the NFL is basically holding on to them because, I'm quite sure the revenue sharing does them well.
They might as well
Uh,
go ahead and make them the first professional
Team
NFL
in
team
London.
in London. They might as well
Yeah,
just
he,
go ahead
he
and do
actually
it.
got businesses, I think, in London as
Yeah,
well. They
he's
own a
from
side
there.
con.
He's from there.
Yeah, yeah. It just doesn't do any good. Who
No.
who else you want to start to go with the?
Saints, Lions, 35
Oh,
29. And let me just say this, man. Matt Patricia is now 10-25-1 as the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Caldwell kept them competitive and they fired him. I just don't understand why they keep staying with Matt Patricia. What has he proved to you as an NFL head coach that he should be able to keep his job? And you fired a Jim Caldwell. What is Matt Patricia is known for 2 things: coaching under Belichick and having a pencil in his ear. And neither one of those is winning him games. But he keeps getting jobs. And a guy like Vance Joseph gets fired. A guy like Steve Wilks get fired. And yes, I'm making it racial. A lot of people don't want to think about it, but that's what it is, man. We're not giving Eric Bieniemy shots, but this guy, Matt Patricia, could keep his job. at 10-25-1. And Drew Brees, I kind of disrespected him this morning, talking about Father Time, but he was 19 of 25 for 246, 2 touchdowns. But you're the Lions. You're at home. You're leading this game 14-7 after 1, and you give up 21 second quarter points. And Patricia's supposed to be a defensive guru. That's it. I ain't got much more than that, though.
I was one of those that thought the Lions could beat them today. I thought the Saints could be had because no Thomas wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I just think Thomas is the MVP of their offense, and I'll take nothing away from Drew Brees. I just think that much of Michael Thomas. I just think he's special at the receiver position. Because if you ever watch any of his games, he don't miss passes. If it hits his hands, it sticks. It sticks on his hands. Detroit, as usual, man, the organization, another organization that's been around since the beginning of the NFL, that makes good money because they got a strong old fan base.
Right.
But it's like, you make Matt Stafford, you give him an extension a couple years ago, and it's like, where are you going? You might as well just let him go and just re-gut the whole thing. You let Darius Slay go last year to go back and draft another cornerback. It's like, where's your direction? And it's like a bunch of NFL teams will look competitive one year, and you'll think the arrow's facing up, but actually the arrow is always facing down. Absolutely. And that's one of those teams like the Browns. The battle for the DMV, we knew what to expect in that game.
We knew what to expect. I mean, they're gonna bench Haskins. They're just gonna bench him. He just may not be what I thought he could be. I mean, he did throw for 314 today. He had 3 sacks against him. He had no touchdowns or no interceptions, but very limited team. I don't know why they got rid of Adrian Peterson. I really don't. Scary Terry was Scary Terry today. 10 catches, 118. It's crazy that he's so talented and he's wasted in that offense. And the Ravens needed to bounce back. They needed a game like that. Lamar did it only the way he knows how to do it. It wasn't the prettiest thing passing. 14-21 for 193. But 2 touchdowns and interception, but he rushed for 53 yards. So he does exactly what he needs to do to win games. He's not going to light it up with the ball in the air every game. But, we pretty much knew the Ravens would win that game.
So we could just move right along. Carolina and the Cardinals.
Carolina Cardinals. Teddy B, right? I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan, always have been. It's nothing fancy. It's nothing flashy. It's just a win, man. And they're 2-2. The Cardinals are 2-2. I know D. Hopkins wasn't 100% healthy. Had a little bit of a nagging injury. Kyler Murray 3 touchdowns, but he completed 24 passes for only 133 yards. So it's more dink and dunk. It's not getting the ball down the field. And then their running game, he led them in rushing. It's tough when your quarterback is your leading rusher with 78 yards, So I don't know. I thought with the schedule, the Cardinals had an opportunity to get off to almost a 5-0 start. But they're 2-2, and that schedule going to get tougher because of the division they play in. So I think they missed an opportunity, man, especially with the extra team in the playoffs this year. I think they really missed an opportunity with a 2-2 record after. And let's be honest, folks, first quarter of the season's over.
Yes, it's going.
It's how fast the NFL moves, man. You blink, and
it's Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving. So as you know, I'm a big Matt Rule fan. Big Matt Rule fan. I wanted my team that I root for, Dallas Cowboys, to hire him as the head coach, but they went with the more experienced NFL coach, and we'll get into that bunch a little bit later. But nice win for Carolina at home, man. Nice win for them at home.
One of our watchers' viewers in the chat said that Kingsbury is getting exposed as a fraud Rule has done a great job elevating the team. You're right. You're right. Matt Rule has done it. He's changing the culture, and
Yes.
one thing, whether when you're a sports fan and you just don't like your team and you're not a homer,
Yeah.
you root for teams that get these new cultures that come in and change the culture. You see it. You see how they practice. Sometimes you see how they play hard. You see they don't give up on every play. Even if they're void of talent, you can actually see it with your own eyes. It actually effort jumps off the screen.
Right.
And
And
Carolina definitely pulled one out today, and I was shocked because I thought the Cardinals might have been turning the corner as one of those teams. Notoriously the Cardinals has always been when they start traveling east, they get a
it's
little
tough.
shaky. But
Yeah. Yeah. But
unfortunately, go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Wayne.
Very interesting too, man. The way that the Panthers played offense without CMC. We know he makes it go with his running and his receiving. But Mike Davis stepped up. 84 yards and a touchdown. And they got great production out of their wide receivers today. Robbie Anderson 6 catches, 99 yards. Chris Samuel had like 51 yards. Moore had like 49. So even without CMC, man, they moved the ball around a lot, man, and as I said, and as the gentleman that commented on here, Matt Rule is just a builder of men, not just football teams, but of men. You look at what he did at Temple. You look at what he did at Baylor. Plus, he had an NFL pedigree coming back. He wasn't just some college coach that didn't have NFL experience. He had NFL experience.
Yeah. So on to that Seattle game. Seattle and the Dolphins, man.
The Dolphins is my little engine that could, man. Eventually the Dolphins are gonna win games like this, man. They're 1-3 right now, but I still believe in Flores. I believe in what he's building. The future is with Tua and not with Fitzmagic. You know, Russ gonna Russ, man. Russell Wilson, Future's stepdaddy is going to cook. Russ going to be Russ, man. 24, 34, 362 touchdowns. Man, very happy, as we say, we're not homers. Very happy that Chris Carson came back after the unfortunate incident that happened against the Cowboys last week. And he rushed for 80 yards. So, maybe that tackle wasn't as dirty as everybody tried to make it out to be, huh? He played.
I know Seattle. Seattle is the type of team that I view as they keep building this confidence up, and this with Metcalf keep growing as a receiver,
Hey,
and we already know
Metcalf is
we already know what Lockett is. Lockett is a guy that he don't get a lot of publicity, but he just shows up in the
Let me
box
tell you something.
scores.
No. Lockett was 2 for 39 today. Okay? Terry Lockett, Tyler Lockett, I'm sorry, and Odell Beckham Jr., when they play the team with the star on their helmet, they play outside of their mind. You know,
One of
Lockett looked human today after what he was doing to that team with the star on their
one of
helmet.
one of the things me and you both
Excuse me for a second.
when we did our preview show, we both had talked about the Dolphins, and the Dolphins, like the person in the chat said, like Rob said in the chat, the Dolphins schedule do get a little easier after the 49ers. And for some reason, both me and Dwayne both picked the Dolphins this year because of all them young players, how they played hard. Like I said, when you building a culture, you can actually see it. And it's not, we're NFC East fans, but for
Right.
some reason the Dolphins within the next year or two, we're gonna see the Dolphins and the Bills battle for that division.
Yeah.
If
I'm
if the coach
a big
if the
Dolphin
coach don't get
fan.
another, but see, we can't ever take nothing from the coach because he's still gonna be around. But
Belichick going Belichick, man. But Fitzmagic, 29 or 45, 315 yards. But he could be Fitzmagic or he could be Fitz tragic. 2 interceptions today.
then we had the
Uh,
then we
you
had the
know,
battle of the two 0-3 teams, Texans and the
and the
Vikings.
Vikings. Hey man, Texans gave Deshaun Watson a lot of money. And he deserves every penny of it. But he has nothing around him. There's not a quarterback in this league that is devout of weapons like Deshaun Jackson is. David Johnson is a shell of himself as a running back, folks. That's why the Cardinals were so quick to give up on him, man. He's not who he once was. I mean, Will Fuller had a good game today. 6 catches, 180 yards. Randall Cobb has to be your second or third option, maybe your fourth option. You know what I mean? He's not a number one. Kenny Stills, I love what he does off the field. What he does on the field leaves a lot to be desired.
I think that was a signature win for the Vikings because I think that the Vikings would have started mortgaging some of their getting rid of some of their players. Like I said, Harrison, the safety, I think is on a big contract, and then the other safety was a Pro Bowler last year. And I think that they were on their way. They paid Njoku all that money. And Danielle Hunter was unhappy. So I think that if they had won 0-4, you would have seen a lot of changes within the Viking the roster. And the Texans, like you said earlier, when you allow a head coach who's in charge of your personnel and then the owner passes away, I mean, they don't even have a GM. Like he's like the quasi end all be all there.
He's running the show.
And as they say, it's too much power for one man to have.
It's way too much power for one man to have.
So now we got the last 1 o'clock game, the Cleveland Browns versus our Dallas Cowboys.
Wait a second, was that the last 1 o'clock game? Let me just check.
Absolutely.
No, it wasn't.
Who was the last one?
Yeah, the Buccaneers and the Chargers.
Oh, the Buccaneers. We could do the Buccaneers first.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, hey, Dwayne.
Tom Brady. I'm a Michigan fan. And Tom Brady's a Michigan man. And I said this morning that I think Father Tom may be catching up with him. Well, Father Tom caught up to him the tune today of 30 or 46 for 369 and 5 touchdowns. So I'm sorry, Tom Brady. I should have known better, But they also had a strong running game today with Jones II. They had 20 carries for 111 yards. Mike Evans is Mike Evans. 7 catches, 122 and a touchdown. Tom Brady threw touchdowns to 5 different people today. So he spread the wealth around, man. That little number 10, I don't know how Tom Brady finds his Wes Welkers, his Julian Edelmans, his Danny Amendolas, and now he has this Scotty Miller kid, man. Tom just seemed to find these little engine that could wide receivers, and they just make it happen, man. So, Anthony Lynn, man, I want to see Anthony Lynn succeed. I do. But he did some questionable things today as a head coach, man. Like, that close to the half, man, just kneel on the ball. Why are you turning around and handing the ball off? Fumbles, gives them a quick score that gets them re-energized and back into that game in the first half. And once you start breathing life into Tom Brady, man, it's not a good situation. So I question a little bit of what Anthony Lynn did with his game plan a little bit. But hey, man, Tom is Tom. I'm becoming more and more impressed with the rookie, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert. He was 20 or 25.
You get him mixed up with Bobby Hebert?
Yeah, people be calling him Hebert, but it's Herbert. He's 20 or 25 today, 290, 3 touchdowns, 1 bad pick, but he's a rookie. So, I mean, hopefully the Chargers get it together. The Bucs is going to be there. They got Tom Terrific. And that's about that, man. So,
like I said earlier, I was surprised that I thought Bruce was going to call this game close to the vest, but he put it on his veteran all-time quarterback, and Tom prevailed as usual. Yeah. And the Bucs is an interesting team because if they get hot, they could be tough to beat. Anthony Lynn, like Rob just said in the chat, Anthony Lynn is actually, I believe he's putting himself on the hot seat.
Yeah,
I believe Anthony Lynn has stability because of we know that roster is loaded. But when Darlin James went down and then the quarterback went down, it kind of like rushed up the process of Justin playing, and it just Anthony Lynn, for some reason, since that first half of Baltimore in the playoffs 2 years ago, he's been making some strange coaching decisions. He's not really running the ball. He's throwing the ball more, which we know last year and the year before that it exposed Phillip Rivers for the turnover machine that he's been, and now he's exposing his young quarterback a little too much. I would think that even though he do got good guys on the outside, he would be running with the two running backs that they got, which is very strange. But
Well, I'm gonna say this, and then he may have put himself on the hot seat, but I'm telling you right now, if Anthony Lynn gets fired before Matt Patricia, I'm gonna have a big issue. If Anthony Lynn gets fired before Adam Gase, I'm gonna have a big issue, man.
well, Adam Gase shouldn't even have a job.
Adam Gase, man, how does he keep getting the job? And I'm gonna say it again, Matt Patricia is 10-25-1. It's time for Eric Bieniemy to get a shot too in this league, man.
So now on to your to our Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns.
You see it. Hey, listen, man, I'm still DC for life, but I'm gonna put that to the side right now and give you unbiased, like I always say I'm gonna give you. The Dallas Cowboy defense is the worst defense I've seen in my 46 years of existence on this earth. Okay? And I've been watching football intensely since I was 8 years old. That's 1982. This is the worst defense I've ever seen in my life. They're falling and rolling all over the field. You give up 307 yards rushing. My wonderful co-host over here tells me it's because it's Bill Callahan and the offensive scheme. No, it's because these jokers, you know what, Rob? That's a good point what you're saying about Earl Thomas. Earl Thomas can't even clean this nasty pig up. Okay? It starts with these linebackers. I don't want to hear about the injuries of Sean Lee and Leighton Vander Esch because they're always injured. I can't depend on those two to be on the field. They're never healthy. Okay?
I said it last week, Dwayne, and I'll say it again, and I don't mind saying it publicly on the show again. When a guy that has not played in 5 years is your best defensive player,
it's a problem.
That's a problem. Alden Smith is their best defensive player. These players are dogs in a bad way. They have no fight. They're stealing money. DeMarcus Lawrence and Jalen Smith are the two highest paid players on the defense side of the ball. Need to be ashamed of themselves.
And DeMarcus Lawrence, let's speak on Tank Lawrence for a second. He has the audacity at the end of this game to say we're soft. Okay, well, what are you doing to change the fact that you're soft? You cursing. Last week you talking about we'll see Russ again. You'll see Russ again on TV.
No, when he go to his house for dinner.
Defense like this.
He gonna invite him over for dinner.
No Russ. If I look at the 11 people that's on the Cowboys defense today, I give credit to 3 players. That's 72, Tristan Hill. That's 58, Alden Smith. And I give half a credit to 27, Tavon Diggs. That's it. Everybody else played like hot garbage, not the hot boys, hot garbage.
So let me ask you a question. What was up with Thompson? Thompson gets beat for the reverse pass, and then they take him out the game.
What's up with him? He's a special teamer. Only time he should be on the field on defense is in dime package.
And what's up with what's the right tackle's name?
They started Terrence Steele.
Terrence Copper? You said Terrence Copper?
Yeah, Copper, because I think Myles Garrett just went by him again. But no, they finally took him out after 2 offensive possessions when they shouldn't have started him in the first place.
So I'm
gonna tell people what I tell my fine friend here. We do this all day long, every day, not just on Sundays. And the biggest problem with the Dallas Cowboys, they both last name is Jones. Jerry and Steven. They think they're smarter than everybody else. We feel comfortable with the guys that we have on campus. Oh, we think Terrence Steele was a steal. He's going to be a 10-year right tackle. He ain't been a 10-minute right tackle.
But one of the things that we discussed is, like you said, the Joneses want to be right, and you got millions. You got fans that aren't even Cowboy fans that's saying, why y'all don't get Earl Thomas? Why y'all don't get Earl Thomas? Which is strange. Now we followed the team a little bit deeper than just the Earl Thomas. We want Earl Thomas. We believe Ron Leary should have stayed in the building. We believe that Connor Williams should have been kicked out to right tackle. And it's just so many strange
We believe
things.
Snack Harrison should have been in the building.
2 years ago, I remember 3 years ago, you was claiming for Jonathan Hankins when the Colts got rid of him to put him out there at the 3 technique. And
let me just say this to you, and I hate to cut you off, but I know we could go on forever about these Cowboys. There's a gentleman, man. He wears number 30 for the Cleveland Browns. His name is D'Ernest Johnson, right? He came into this game, his 2020 stats before this game against the Dallas Cowboys was 1 carry for 5 yards. He had 13 carries for 95 yards against this sieve of a defense that got 307 yards rushing. And Rob, you are correct, gentlemen. We do have a cupcake schedule coming up. But it don't matter when you play defense like this, man.
It don't matter. Rob, I'm telling you, me and this man are diehard Cowboy fans. The future does not look bright.
It don't matter when you play defense like this.
It don't matter. This defense is bad. It's leaking.
I want you, like I've been doing the last couple of weeks, okay? All of you. I want you to look into my eyes. You see them? I am tired of the 3- and 4-letter networks and the analysts on Twitter blaming Rain Dakota Prescott. This is not on Rain Dakota. That man's rotator cuff is going to be torn by week 8 as much as he has to drop back and throw the ball. This man has 1,690 yards in 4 games, man. That's the most in 4 games since the Super Bowl era, man. He threw for 502 yards today, man. And 5 touchdowns.
Dwayne, your volume went out. There you go. You back. Hey, Rob,
somebody was calling me.
Rob, we understand 7-9 wins the NFC East, maybe. But we maybe at this point, I don't want to win the NFC East to go to the playoffs and get destroyed. The Cowboys, if anybody been watching the Cowboys the last couple of years, we had the 11th ranked defense last year. The reason why Dallas played so bad last year is because they had the 32 ranked special teams. We were the worst special teams. So when I mean our defense was okay last year, Dallas did not give up big plays but one game against the Jets when Robbie Anderson split the safeties, and he probably still running down the daggone middle of MetLife. But the Cowboys don't give up big plays last year. But this year, giving up these big plays is scary. Because what's happening is these secondary is peaking in that backfield, and I don't know what you're peaking for because you need to worry about your job. The guys up front is getting destroyed.
We got literally destroyed. Front with we're getting tackles.
We're getting destroyed, and like Dwayne said, we're basically playing what they call a hybrid defense, where it's 2 linebackers and it's 4 down linemen, and Olden Smith is standing up. Basically, Olden Smith is playing strong side linebacker on the weak side.
Absolutely.
So this is inexcusable what's going on. But the Cleveland Browns, I just want to say that the Cleveland Browns, they look like a solid team that's not going to beat themselves. They don't put Baker really in harm's way. They run the football and do a lot of play action. And they look like, for lack of better words, they look well coached.
They just got to tell Odell Beckham every week that he playing the Dallas Cowboys. Just tell him, yeah, we playing the Cowboys this week. Because he played different when he played the Cowboys. Well, yeah, he was in the league, Rob. He was the linebacker coach for the Saints last couple of years. But you may be right. I think it more goes to maybe Rob Marinelli and Chris Richard knew a little bit more than the fans knew. And maybe that's why they kept it vanilla last year. Because Mike Nolan's trying to get complex with this defense. And he's doing it with, hey, man, Jordan Lewis, it's a contract year for you. And you ain't looking like we need to resign you.
Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods, Jalen Smith. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
For those that don't remember, Jalen Smith was probably a 10 or 12-year Pro Bowler before the injury in Notre Dame. He actually has regressed since year 1. He went to the Pro Bowl last year by mistake because players started opting out. But Jalen Smith looks bad. He's thinking too much, and he's overplaying. He just looks bad, like a
Yeah,
bad
it look
football player
bad.
right now.
And
Maybe
dumb penalties, dumb
they might need to
mistakes,
sit
man.
him down for the first series, get him to watch some film first during the game, because
Put the rookie in. Put
I,
Marcus
I,
Bernard
I, I
in.
hate I hate to say it, and like I always tell Dwayne this, for some reason they make decent halftime adjustments, but when your team is down 28-7 every game, you can't expect them to win, and it's just
No.
the Cowboys. For those of us that know us and know that that's our team, we're on record. The Cowboys are a bad football team.
They stink out loud.
And if the Giants play the way they played the Rams today against the Cowboys,
The Giants will beat them.
the Giants will beat them.
Yeah.
The Giants will beat them.
But enough of that. Enough of that misery. We go on to the 4 o'clocks, and
We go to the Giants and the Rams.
hey, the Giants played the Rams very tough considering it was on the West Coast, and they kept it very close. And they played good defense, which I didn't know that was possible for these Giants. They played good defense. I mean, Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, man. It's crazy though that he was 23 of 36 and only for 190 yards, and that interception at the end of the game. They have no running game to speak of. 6 carries for Gallman, 45 yards. Daniel Jones, 6 carries, 45 yards.
They need to move on from Golden Tate. I don't even know why he's there. He needs to be in the
Devontae
Oregon.
Freeman, 11 for 33. Golden Tate, 4 catches, 20 yards, and he starts a big brawl at the end of the game because he has a personal issue with Jalen Ramsey because of something that happened between Jalen Ramsey and his sister. Leave that personal stuff. If you want to have a fight with Jalen Ramsey, see him on the street. Don't see him on the damn football field at the end of the game, and we in a COVID situation anyway. We're in a COVID situation. And you got the audacity to be out there fighting. And you're right, Rob. They should both be suspended because that's irresponsible.
It's not. I can't even review this game. The Rams got a tough win. Sometimes you have those games in the NFL where you ain't on your best, but you just got to squeak the win out. And the Rams made, as I said to you, fumble, interception, or touchdown. I think he's gonna throw an interception. You put these players in bad situations, they're bound to make mistakes. And this is what happens when quarterbacks. I don't care who you are. You cannot have a quarterback every week go out there and throw the ball 35 to 50, 60 times a game, because you see they're going to make mistakes or they're going to get hit by one of these 275-pound linemen that's running 4.6s coming off the edge that's going to just tear you up. One of the next game is the Colts, Dwayne. I'm telling you. I know a lot of people may not see it, and it's not Phillip Rivers. The Colts defense is for real.
Don't get me started.
Matt Eberflus, for those that don't know, Matt Eberflus was a coach that studied under Rob Ryan. When Rob Ryan was the defensive coordinator, he brought Matt Eberflus in. Matt Eberflus has been with Dallas, and then last year he went to the Colts. And he was actually, for those that don't know, he was hired because Josh McDaniels took the job and hired him. And then when Josh McDaniels backed out of the job, Frank Reich kept him on. Matt Eberflus can coach. I'm telling y'all, he's a good defensive coordinator. The Colts do not give up a lot of yards. I don't know how many yards they gave up this game, but I know the first 3 games they gave up less than 650 yards in 3 games.
They gave up a total 269 yards today.
You keep a team under 300 yards in this NFL, this game, this day and age, you're going to win. You're going to win most of your games. They play solid defense. Anybody that know about the Colts, they got the linebacker that's special. And it just Matt Eberflus, man, they got a special defense. Now the Bears is the team that Dwayne always says is going to be Dak Prescott's next destination.
That's Dak Prescott's next destination, Chicago. And they need it because Nick Foles is not the answer, folks. He won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, but he's not the answer. That's why Jacksonville gave up on him. He was 26 of 42 today for 249. But, it was an ugly game, man. 19-11, it was an ugly game. But Frank Reich don't mind winning ugly. Frank Reich's a very good coach, man. He don't get a lot of credit. He's a
And it's
very good
amazing.
coach.
It's amazing what happened to Carson Wentz after he left. Too.
After he left the building, a lot of people don't talk about that when they talk about the struggles of Carson Wentz. He ain't got no Frank Rice.
Another game we want to talk about is Craig's sleeper team, Buffalo Mafia, man.
They ain't a sleeper no more. They 4-0, and Jared Allen's playing like MVP, yo. Let's just say it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
playing like
contention.
an MVP, man. 26 of 34, 288, 2 touchdowns. Also, what he does with his feet. And the best thing that the Buffalo Bills could have ever did was adding a threat like Stephon Diggs. 6 catches, 115 yards today. Okay, he stretches the field for this team, and that's what they need.
Yeah, I think, like I said, the Raiders is a team that's building. I really believe I like what Gruden built with that offensive line. They just don't have enough weapons right now to really score. But Buffalo got a chance to be special. I really can't wait till they see them when they go up against New England, and that's going to be a very interesting game because the coach is going to have to pull a rabbit out the hat.
They're going to have to pull a rabbit out the hat. I don't know with the Raiders, man. It's like, I want to be careful, but who is David Carr really, man? Like, is he... Derek Carr. I'm sorry, I called him his brother. Who is Derek Carr really? Like, I mean,
I compare him with the guy that they had with him, Amari Cooper. You know what it is about them? Amari Cooper, we know, we follow him. He's on our team. Best route runner in the NFL, but he's just not a number one. He's actually a great number two. He's a great number two. He's not a number one. He just don't have that dog in him as a number one. He don't run a lot of times. He don't run the route out. I mean, you could spot 2 or 3 times a game where he don't string his routes out. And David Carr's the same way. He's just good enough to drive the bus. I mean, like Parcells used to say, I don't need a superstar quarterback to win. He would be a quarterback that you would have to have, and Gruden has him, an old school coach that knows how to build players around him, that knows how to coach a lot of guys up to have around him.
right.
So, do you want to preview tonight's game, or you want to give the first quarter grades first?
We could preview tonight's games. I heard a rumor. I heard that the Philadelphia Eagles signed Vince Papale to play wide receiver tonight because they don't have any receivers.
Shots fired. Shots fired by Jermaine Lawrence.
They're down. Listen, who's playing wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles tonight?
Vince Papale, Dwayne.
I mean, I know he's 74 years old, but they made a movie Invincible about him. So, I mean, who's playing wide receiver for them? Listen, I mean, anything's possible. The 49ers are still banged up. They're really banged up. But no Jason Peters.
One of the things I didn't understand about the Eagles, it's funny because it's like they fell into the fool's gold trap. They're a team that never runs the football.
Never.
They don't have a fullback on the roster. They want to be this high prolific offense, and then all their receivers get hurt. I remember one time this week, Thursday, I called you and I was telling you that Mike Missanelli was saying how
Mikey missed.
They had one player with their active roster in the practice squad. They only had one receiver because all of their receivers was hurt for practice. I don't even know how they were able to go through the game installations with one receiver. And I know Dallas Goedert is hurt for at least three games. He's gonna be out. I just don't see the Eagles being able to win this game. Not a night game in Levi.
Nah.
The 49ers actually have been weathering the storm, so I think they're gonna rally around their team and it's gonna be the coaching. Shanahan knows how to coach them guys. They have his mold. We can run through the grades real quick. We know we got two.
We'll hit it real quick.
No, we got two games. Buffalo 4-0, first season first quarter grade. A2. New England.
A.
Miami 1-3.
I'm giving them a C, man. I mean, I believe in the program, so I'm giving them a C.
I'm gonna give Miami a B.
Okay, you giving them a little bit more
because
than that.
it's a different. They're a different 1-3. The New York Jets
F.
give an F. They need to get rid of that coach. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey man, Big Ben is back. Big Ben in defense wins you football games. I'm giving them an A.
I'm gonna give him an A, and I just like I said last year about Tomlin. This guy has a hold of that franchise. He coaches guys up. They're gonna be competitive every game. Just hats off to the Steelers, man, and what they
And
do.
can we say the AFC North may be the best division in football right now?
Baltimore.
B. Because they still gotta prove it to me, man. Like
Yeah.
they're regular season champions. We know that. I just gotta see what they're gonna do in the playoffs.
Baltimore, I'm gonna give a C too. They even though their record is good, we know what they are. They're gonna run the football, play solid
Right.
defense. But it's like, okay, you've been doing it 2 years in the playoffs. Now it's time to have that signature road win. They
Right.
don't have the signature road
They
win
don't
against
have
a
it.
real good team.
They don't have it.
Cleveland.
I got to give Cleveland a solid B right now. Stefanski, whole new coaching staff. They're 3-1. Listen, one thing I'll say about Cleveland and one thing I'll say about Stefanski, he is not letting Baker Mayfield lose games for him. If you look at Baker Mayfield's stats in the 3 wins, they asked him to do as little as possible. And they depended on that running game and a terrible defense that some team couldn't take advantage of today till it was too late.
Cincinnati.
I'm going to pass on that one. Can
Cincinnati.
I come back?
Yeah,
Can I come back?
You can come back. I'm gonna give Cincinnati a B. Like I said, what I see out of the quarterback, I'm really impressed.
Let me come back to Cincinnati.
I didn't think that coach was nothing last year, and obviously he got them all on the same page. Tennessee.
You know what? I'm gonna give Cincinnati a C for now. The rookie quarterback. I think that coach could do some different things in the game planning, but I'm gonna give him a C. Tennessee
3-0.
I'm a big Vrabel fan. I am, and I'm a reiterate again. He did not coach under Bill Belichick. He played under him. Okay, that's not where he came from. Okay, he's from a different coaching tree. Okay, but his team is 3-0. They still got Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. They got Derrick Henry. My boy C. Davis 84 is stepping up in his contract year. And at 3-0, I'm giving them a nice A.
I'm gonna give the Titans a B, and I'll tell you why. I love what they do on offense. They played back in the day, Northeast football, smash mouth football. I'm giving that offense an A. I'm giving them a C. And did I say C or B?
You said a B.
I'm giving them a B. I'm giving the offense an A because Derrick Henry just give me the ball.
Did you say C? You may have said C.
I said C. But the offense got an A, and their defense got an A. Their defense, I'm telling y'all, when Vic Beasley and Clowney get some chemistry, they're gonna be scary coming up the edges because they got the big boy in the middle who's an unmovable force. And they got Breyer back there. Tennessee is really good.
Yeah.
I'm dropping them from an A to a C because obviously they didn't protect themselves during COVID. And they spread it amongst their players and team. And one of the games had to get canceled. And, we know that sometimes you can't prevent COVID, but sometimes you got to be cautious. And you got to be cautious. And they didn't take it serious. Somebody didn't take it serious enough. And they affected the whole team. And it's like, guys, just every time I turn around, you're getting an ESPN alert talking about 3 more players done tested positive. So that's why I'm dropping them down. It may sound petty, but I'm petty today. The Colts.
I know we said some good things about them, Frank Wright, Matt Eberflus. I still don't know what they are. I got distracted by the comment right there. I'm sorry. I still don't know who they are. Phillip Rivers is a lame duck. He's the next head coach of a high school team in Alabama. So he ain't going nowhere. So when do you allow the young kid, Jacob Easton, to get some of the fire? I'm a big Jonathan Taylor fan at running back. But with all that said, man, I don't know who they are, so I'm gonna give them a C, even though they 3-1.
I'm gonna give them a B. I'm big on Matt Eberflus. Frank is doing a good job, but at the end of the day, what's going to be the bugaboo for them is Phillip Rivers is going to throw that pick. He's going to throw that interception. That's just who he is. That's who he's been. He's a Hall of Fame tough quarterback. Got heart. He popped shit. But at the end of the day, he's going to throw that ill-advised interception, and it's going to wind up hurting them. Jacksonville Jaguars.
D. I just don't know. I just don't know what they're doing, man.
Me neither.
I don't know.
A D as well. That's nothing I can say about Jacksonville. Houston Texans, same way.
F.
I can't. They get an F.
F.
And
Kansas City.
Going to Kansas City, 3-0. Well-oiled machine. Probably the best team in the NFL.
Best team in the NFL till somebody else proves otherwise.
Got to give them an A for what they've been able to do as well. Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm gonna give them a B, man. 2-2, but I believe in what Gruden and Mayock is putting together. I like how they constructed their team.
Me too. I'm gonna give them a B as well. The Chargers. I'm giving the Chargers an F. I know they won. I know they 1-3. I know they lost Darwin James, but I'm giving them an F because I don't think a lot of people understand how much talent they got. They got the 2 edge rushers. They got the linebacker.
A lot of talent.
They are loaded. They got 2 good receivers, 2 good backs, and Anthony Lynn is just not coaching right. Something's going on. Yeah. Like Rob said, he's coaching for his job. He's on the hot seat. He gets an F for right now. Denver Broncos.
Listen, I'm giving them an F. I don't believe in Vic Fangio. I can't believe you got rid of Vance Joseph to hire Vic Fangio. John Elway with the quarterbacks. I know Drew Lock is hurt, but you want your 3rd quarterback. So, no, I'm not spending too much time on them. They're getting an F from me.
I'm giving the Broncos an F as well. Outside of Peyton Manning wanting to play in Denver, what has John Elway done out there? I know he gets a lot of credit, and people he won that Executive of the Year award one year. But outside of Peyton Manning wanting to play there, the team basically has done nothing. They haven't been able to replace DeMarcus Ware on the other side of Von Miller. They got Chubb, but then Von Miller gets hurt. So I just don't see no direction of their team. Their secondary turned over. They ain't been no better. I just don't see no direction. On to the National Football Conference, the NFC.
All right, well, NFC East, everybody gets an F. When your conference is 2-12-1, pending the 49er game tonight, it ain't no need to go individually between these 4 teams. They all get Fs, in my opinion.
It's one team I'm not gonna give an F though, and it's the Washington team. And the only reason why I'm gonna give the Washington team a D is because I didn't expect anything of them. And I will say this, Ron Rivera, you could see that he's changing the culture. They don't have the quarterback that's going to move them into the next future. They lost a good lineman, Ioannidis. But I'm going to give them a D because I didn't expect them to be anything this year, and they do got 1 win. The rest of the division is cheeks.
Think about it. Outside of the NFC East, they got 1 win, and that 1 win was a miracle because the Falcons don't know how to close out a game. NFC East is just terrible. And this ain't the first year. This has been going on for the last 3-4 years. The NFC East is just not a good conference, man.
So on to the NFC North. Green Bay.
Got to give them I don't like what the organization did in the offseason, but their actual play on the field, I'm giving them an A because they're 3-0 and Aaron Rodgers is lighting it up, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an A too. They're on the same page, and it's funny because I believe that if they could run away with that division, and they get that 1 seed, they're gonna be a tough out. I mean, I think that a lot of times people don't realize home field advantage. Even though you don't got a crowd, you still got to go to Lambeau in that cold, and it's rough out there. Chicago.
See.
I'm giving Chicago a D. I think Chicago is fool's gold. I think 3-1 is not who they really are. I don't think they're that good. I just don't. The quarterback situation is too much in flux, and it's the most important position on the field. And I just don't think that they're good. They don't run the football. They're just weird. Chicago's a weird team.
They are
weird team. Detroit
D.
Go sell a car. That's all I can say.
That's it.
Go
D.
sell a car.
Matt
Detroit
Patricia
just
should not be a head coach next year. Matt Patricia's time is over.
Minnesota.
D.
D2. Minnesota, for Minnesota to beat had been so close to 2 years ago, and now, they just lost so many players. They just D. I don't think that Zimmer could recapture that magic that he had. They lost a lot of coaches the last couple of years, and they just don't have it no more. NFC South, Tampa Bay.
B.
Tampa Bay, I'm gonna give them a B2. Strength of schedule, they really haven't played nobody, but you reckon say you are. They
Yes,
playing
you
good
are.
football to be 3-1. The Saints.
Saints have so many injuries, man, that I'm not going to grade them hard. I wish I can give them an incomplete, but what I'll do at 2-2 is give them a C.
I'll give them a C as well. I just don't think the Saints, like I said, I think that they could go either way. They're a team that can catch fire and be a problem in the playoffs, or a team that could just start losing. Hopefully they get Thomas back, because Thomas is key to what they do on offense. I know they won against Detroit today, but they need Thomas back in the worst way.
Yeah.
Carolina at 2-2.
I'm biased. I love Matt Rule. I love how he goes about his business. I know they're 2-2, but nobody even expected them to be that at this point. I'm giving them a nice B-.
I'm gonna give them a B plus. I think they playing well. I mean, for them to be 2-2 and lost their best player for a couple weeks, they really playing well. He's building a franchise down there, building a culture. They lost so many players on defense from last year. They lost Ed Reed, Luke Kuechly, both tackles, the
Yeah.
Davis guy. Like, it's amazing what they're able to do right now. So I'm gonna give them a B plus. Atlanta.
F. Don't even need to talk about it because they're going to be 0-4 after tomorrow night.
Yeah, Atlanta gets an F from me too. They just, like I said, when they traded Julio Jones years ago. To get Julio Jones, they traded so many picks to Cleveland, where Cleveland squandered, and they just have never been able to build the defense down there around Julio Jones and Matt Ryan, and it's still showing. They're leaking.
Yeah.
On to the NFC West, Seattle.
Well, I may have to correct myself, right? Because I said earlier during this segment that I thought the AFC North may be the best division. I was wrong. It's the NFC West. When you look at these four teams out here, first of all, Seattle, I don't trust their defense, but I trust number 3. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He should have 2 rings, but he don't, so he only got 1. But I give Seattle an A. I give Pete Carroll an A. And Russ Wilson is cooking. He's straight cooking.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Seattle a. Russell Wilson is the MVP, hands down right now. He putting the team on his back. Like I said, with the players that they got at skill positions right now, honestly, a lot of teams should be thankful that they don't got the 12th man there, because they would be a scary home team. They would be a scary team to have to go up there and play with that crowd, and knowing that they at any given moment they could run the ball 40 times a game, or they could just decide to start passing. And as our fellow YouTuber says about the Cowboys, dealing with Seattle, you could have whatever you like. Because their offense is interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. The Rams.
I'm giving them a B, man. Today, if it wasn't for today, I would have gave them an A. I just didn't like their performance today. They seemed flat against the Giants. And that's not taking anything away from the Giants. Giants played a good game. They just didn't seem, at times, they didn't seem interested in that game to me. Jeff Goff was 25 of 32, 200 yards. They only rushed for 58 yards as a team. It just had a real ugly flow to that game. But you do got to win ugly in this league. I understand that. But, yeah, I'll give them a B.
I'm gonna give the Rams a B. I mean, I know they came in this year with a lot of question marks, and I think that a lot of people didn't realize what they was doing when they were dumping all them franchises. But what the Rams did is that they basically got back to basic football. They got to what was helping them build their team up the last couple of years, where they was doing solid misdirection, the zone scheme, the zone runs, the zone passes, And I think that they're just going to rely on the best defensive player in the league and Ramsey and Donald, and just have Ramsey, and then just try to play solid football and just not beat themselves, not put Goff in a situation where he's going to throw interceptions. The San Francisco 49ers.
I am giving the San Francisco 49ers a B plus, considering all the injuries that they've dealt with, that MetLife Field wreaked havoc on them 2 weeks in a row. When you lose the parts that the 49ers have lost, and they got an opportunity to be 3-1 after the first quarter of the season, that's a great job by Shanahan and his staff.
I'm gonna get the 49ers an A. Because of the injuries, I mean the organization, they just keep it together. I mean, I didn't think John Lynch could do it, being a first time GM. And it's easy to get a team to start winning, but when you start going through some adversity, I want to see how your team react. And the team is held together. Porn star Jimmy is still looking the same. Hopefully he come back next week. I don't think he's playing tonight. I just think that they're the type of team that the injuries, they keep getting injured, it can hurt them. But right now he hasn't lost a team. What about the Cardinals?
I'm a little disappointed that the Cardinals are 2-2 with the schedule they had. I was expecting them to be over 500, but I would say a C, man. I would say a C.
I mean, the Cardinals are the Cardinals. I mean, let's see. It's still early in the season. I'm gonna get them a C as well. You don't really know what you got. Like Rob said in the chat earlier, Kingsbury might be getting exposed because he has to take into consideration that he has a very small quarterback. And this quarterback, what you're expecting him to do with all these passes and running the football, listen, 6'5", 275 coming off the edges will knock your head off, man. And one thing I worry about is these linemen hitting this kid, because it's good to have a game, 2 games, maybe 2-3 years. But if you ever look at running quarterbacks, after a while they start looking like they got body armor on. Look at Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger looked like he's RoboCop. He has so much stuff on. But Russell Wilson's the same way. The shoulder pads they wear are huge compared to other players. So I just want Kyler Murray just to be careful. And as a coach, that's your job, to protect your quarterback. So that's it for the grades.
We did a good job because it's kicking off now. So we got it out of the way right at kickoff. I like the 49ers tonight in a close one.
Me too. And with that, y'all, thanks for everybody in the chat for joining. Remember,
thanks for your feedback, Rob. We appreciate it.
Rob, thanks for the feedback. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And spread the chat, spread the word. Every Sunday we do this at night at 7. We try to get on like 7:15 to 7:30 to review the games from earlier. We just started a Sunday morning football show. Hopefully that takes off well. But we here and we love the feedback. And like you said, Rob, God bless you too.
God bless you, Rob.
Take it easy, and everybody have a good week, man, and enjoy this good football.
Absolutely.